headlines, where the stories remain. We dig them up, we feel their pain. The truth is out, the case is closed, but our search for justice never slows.
Hey everyone, how are you? Happy Monday. Oh my gosh, and it has been a Monday. I don't think I've had a Monday this Monday in a long time. This morning I woke up and I actually kept hitting snooze today, but I woke up and I was like, I don't really feel like going to work. And I was like, just do it. Both copiers were broken. It was just a mess today. And the kids were a little wild, not like super wild, but it was definitely a Monday. So when I got home, I saw, just checking the headlines that there had been a mass stabbing attack in Manhattan. And so I looked into it a little bit, and then just before the live, I was watching some news clips, and they do show the knives that were used in this attack. I had pictured something much smaller than what was used. And unfortunately, of the 3 who were stabbed, 2 did succumb to their injuries. I can understand why now, seeing the weapons used. Just really sad. And then over the weekend, actually last night, there was a mass shooting in New Orleans where 2 died, 10 wounded. Just so many bad things happening. And then I do have some other stories. So the New York City story is obviously the main story, but then we have a few other stories that I have wanted to talk about for some time. We just, there's not enough time in the week to do it. So let me just look at chat quick. So thanks for being here, Pookie, Thinner. StreamYard, I don't know what is going on. Ever since they were bought out by whatever that company is, it's just been, it wouldn't start my intro. It wouldn't load. It's thinking I'm spam. Like, come on, get it together, StreamYard. Hey, Sunnyside, how are you? Shaylee. I hope you feel better soon. Hey, SG, how are you? Yeah, I agree, Pooh. Get to feeling better. And it's the time of year. I hope, I know a lot of my coworkers have been sick. I hope I don't get sick. Usually I don't get really sick until February. So hopefully I don't get sick at all. But if it does happen, it'll be during, the later winter months. So we are going to get started. And so hey, Nini. Sorry, I've been trying for a minute. Chat windows wouldn't appear. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. Like YouTube, StreamYard, my chat on my phone. So Sinner was live yesterday, and I was looking at chat, and I'm like, why isn't chat moving? So I would have to go to top messages and then back to all messages, and then there was a whole load of messages that I didn't see. I know that there's an issue. YouTube is working on it, but it's just ever since the last update, it's been nothing but messing up. Yes, Sunday, mine too. Oh, really, Pookie? You're supposed to wear a mask until you get your immune system back. What's interesting about masks is, I don't wear one anymore. but the kids still wear masks. I mean, I guess, you know, I mean, they don't want to get sick. I didn't get sick at all with wearing the mask. So it clearly works, but I just feel like it's too constricting, at least for me. How embarrassing that will be. Well, I mean, some people still do. It's almost like, I feel like it almost like made it okay to wear face masks. I don't know. I'm just glad that we don't have to anymore. Yeah. Me too. It was sweaty and just, I don't know. I don't like, whatever. Anyways, so we have 2 clips of this. I do have my disclaimer on. Actually, is that the right one? Yes, viewer discretion advised. Because they do show the weapons used. I did not see any like violent scenes with these clips that I watched. But like I said, they do show the weapons that are stained. So if you feel you may be triggered or don't want to watch it, come back after the news clips. So we have 2 news clips, and then we have the NYPD did a press conference. So we'll watch that, and then we'll get into the other stories. Oh my gosh, Pookie. That's so scary. I just found out that my immune system is almost gone. Explain why I've had pneumonia twice this summer. That is so scary. Oh, Nini, I'm sorry to read that. 35-year-old brother-in-law passed due to C19. I'm so sorry. Hey, Don't Dive. Yes, they do always have something going on, but this was just unprovoked. The suspect they have in custody is known to have mental illness challenges. He is a 51-year-old who has been living at one of the homeless shelters in the city. He's been in trouble with the law before in multiple states. His last arrest was in October, which is actually just like a month ago. And his court date was, I believe they said December 2nd. So just in a couple of weeks, he was supposed to go back to court for the previous charge. So I hope this guy gets the help he needs because, you know, clearly the community law enforcement, he is known to them. So sadly, hey, Petunia, sadly, 2 people, a construction worker was the first person who was attacked and sadly lost their life. There was another, I believe it was a man, just random attack. And then a woman is in critical condition. Oh, it was a man fishing. Yes, it was a man fishing. And sadly, he lost his life. And it happened this morning. The first one was at around 8:30 a.m. The second one was around 10 a.m. The third one, if I'm not mistaken, was 10:20 or 10:25 a.m. And a cab driver saw one of the attacks and called law enforcement, which they are thanking this man because they believe that it stopped this guy from wreaking more violence on the city. Yeah, I agree. Don't dive. He definitely needs some help, and I hope he can get it. All right, so here we go.
But first, police say a man went on a bloody and deadly stabbing spree in Manhattan this morning. The victims, police believe, all chosen at random And now a suspect is in custody. Good afternoon. I'm David Navarro.
And I'm Liz Choen. Police stopped that suspect at 46th and 1st, arresting him right outside the Turkish consulate and right across the street from the United Nations.
That 3-hour-long rampage finally coming to an end. Police finding 2 bloody knives on the 51-year-old suspect.
Eyewitness News reporter Kimberly Richardson is live on Manhattan.
And what's interesting as well is that he brought those gloves with him. He brought the gloves with him. That was his backpack. And when he dropped the backpack, apparently this stuff fell out of it. And there were 2 knives, chef's knives, just like, I don't get it.
51-year-old suspect.
Eyewitness News reporter Kimberly Richardson is live on Manhattan's east side with the very latest on what was a very frightening situation for several hours today. Kim.
Well, listen, David, there is a very good chance many more people would have been hurt or even killed today had it not been for an Uber driver. He saw the suspect attacked.
So the one article had said cab driver, which I guess you could call an Uber a cab driver, but a ride share. Thank goodness that he, had the sense to call police.
One of his victims, and then he followed the suspect in his car and flagged down an NYPD officer. That victim, a 36-year-old woman, is here in the hospital. She is the sole survivor of this triple spree of terror.
I'm walking with the guy who has 2 knives this long.
These were his weapons of terror, 2 large kitchen knives used to attack 3 strangers, a construction worker in Chelsea, fishermen relaxing on.
Right. I mean, a construction worker, he's at work doing his job, and this man comes up and, attacks him. And then this man fishing, just, like the lady said, relaxing, and he's attacked.
On the East River, and a woman standing here near the UN. Police say the suspect viciously stabbed all, killing 2 victims in what appears to be unprovoked attacks.
We had video of him with the knives out. He is that he was traveling by foot.
8:22 this morning here at 444 West 19th Street. Officials say no words were exchanged between the suspect and the first victim, a 36-year-old man.
He's standing in front of a construction site where he is employed.
36.
When without warning, he is stabbed in the abdomen.
That wound was fatal. The suspect then left. Roughly 2 hours later, crossed paths with his second target, a 68-year-old man who was fishing in the East River near 30th Street. The suspect stabbed him to death. The final attack here at East 42nd and 1st. A 36-year-old woman stabbed multiple times. She's now in critical condition. An Uber driver was right there, spotted what he thought was a simple robbery, and while in his car, followed the suspect.
He kept pointing, stop that guy, stop that guy.
Michael says the suspect kept casually walking north on First Avenue. Baha then spotted him.
He's just walking, calling for the police. I told him, drop the bag. There's going to be cops up ahead. Drop the bag. It's not worth it.
Then here at 46th and 1st, that same driver flagged down officer.
And I'm curious too. I mean, this part of Manhattan, I'm not sure how populated it is, but it did seem, where the man was fishing, it didn't seem too populated, but I feel like there would be a lot of people around. I mean, thank goodness, some people were, like that kid. Well, I say kid. That man was saying, telling him to drop it. It's not worth it. There's police up ahead. Brazen is a good word for it. Sunday, I don't believe there was a crowd. They said that I'm not sure about the construction worker, but the man who was fishing, based on what they said, I would assume was by himself. And the woman who was stabbed was standing outside the consulate. Whether she was with other people, I don't know. But I feel that there were probably other people around. But that I don't know for sure. Hey, Jersey.
To Robert Garvey.
I just heard a commotion
Hey,
from
Amen.
where I was. Stepped outside, heard what people were saying, and reacted.
Without resisting, the suspect finally stopped.
As soon as they opened the bag and they dumped it upside down, a mask came out and two really big knives. And one of them, like I said, looked like it had blood on it.
And Mayor Adams says what happened today was a clear example of a criminal justice and mental health system that continues to fail New Yorkers. This suspect, he's 51 years old, and he's been arrested multiple times in different states, including right here in October. His next court date was December 4th. Tonight, right now, he's being held at the 10th precinct. For now, we're live on the Upper East Side. Kimberly Richardson, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
And for those of you who may be in New York, or may not, we have this new bail reform that New York has passed isn't working. It's not working. Hey, Grandma Sherry, how are you? So this next video, this talks about the surveillance. They were able to get surveillance of the suspect preparing for his attacks. He clearly decided, today I'm going to go and hurt people.
Also tonight, in just the last couple of hours here in New York, we're getting some new details on that deadly stabbing spree that killed 2 people and sent 1 person to the hospital in critical condition. I want to show you some of this here. A brand new surveillance video showing the suspect just moments before his first attack this morning. So he puts on gloves, you see that there, and then pulls out.
Oh, Jesus. And so it does seem like it's not like super busy, like, Times Square. But I mean, there's people around. There was people walking by him, and he just takes the knife out and puts it in the front of his hoodie. And that thing is not small. Hey, Troll, how are you? Don't Dive says maybe he was suffering from a part of his mental illness with psychosis, or he's not on any meds. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yep, the woman, Jersey, she was by I think they said the Turkish consulate.
About what looks like a big knife out of a little backpack, not long before he allegedly carried out the first of 3 apparently unprovoked stabbings. We also now know the suspect's identity, confirmed to NBC News by 2 officials, 51-year-old Raymond Rivera, with an extensive criminal history, 8 arrests in just the past year, 7 of which were felonies.
Wow, 8 arrests in New York City in the last year, 7 felonies, 1 misdemeanor. You know what? Give me 1 second. Actually, we'll play this. I was going to look up, what was his name? Ramon Rivera. We're going to take a looky look. Here we go. Criminal. Defendant name. Ramon Rivera. Okay. I'm only seeing 5 different. They said he was 51. I'll have to look some more.
Felonies. Officials say he also had a documented history of mental health concerns. Police arrested Rivera shortly after his 3rd attack this morning. I want to bring in Antonia Hilton with the latest. What happened here? What is the timeline of this, and how were police finally able to catch up with him?
Yeah, Hallie, this is a shocking and horrifying story, and it really is an unbelievable one. I'm right at the scene of one of the stabbings that happened just before 11 a.m., but this all actually got started just moments before 8:30 a.m. this morning, according to...
Okay, so he definitely got, he was moving around, So here, 8:22 a.m., Hispanic male, 36 years old, at a construction site. The second one was at 10:27, so a couple of hours later. So I was off on my times. An Asian male, 68 years old, fishing in the East River. He also died. And then at 10:55 a.m., a Black female, 36 years old, critical condition.
To officials, the suspect, Ramon Rivera, was on the west side of Manhattan when he, unprovoked, attacked a 36-year-old construction worker right outside of his work site. That man passed away. He then walked across to the east side of Manhattan, attacked another man, a 68-year-old who was out fishing this morning, killed him as well before he came to the block where I am right now and attacked, unprovoked, a 36-year-old woman who is now in the hospital fighting for her life. Take a listen to one of the eyewitnesses describing the scene and his arrest.
He put his hands up. He went on the ground, no struggle, no anything. He didn't fight the cops. Went on his stomach. And then they opened the bag. And as soon as they opened the bag and they dumped it upside down, a mask came out and two really big knives. And one of them, like I said, looked like it had blood on it.
And so much of this was by chance. The NYPD saying in a presser earlier today that it was a cab driver who called and tipped off the NYPD to what was happening. Other witnesses shouting on the street, and that the officer who actually arrested him did not understand at the time that he was the man responsible for all three of the.
Like, that is crazy. And he had two of those. Like, when I was thinking, you know, I'm not thinking a chef's knife. I'm thinking, I don't know, like just, you know, a smaller blade. But this is like, wow. And look at all those gloves. Like, he clearly planned to try to hurt as many people as possible. And he put gloves on so that he didn't get it on his hands.
These stabbings, Sally.
You mentioned this suspect's apparent history of mental health issues, arrests, etc. What else do we know about that?
Yeah, according to the authorities, he has a long and documented history of mental health challenges and also of arrest charges, mostly involving burglaries. And he was a homeless individual here in New York City, most recently, according to the police, staying at the Bellevue Men's Shelter in the city. Mayor Eric Adams talked about this in the presser this morning, saying that this case is really an example of some of the failures and continued problems in our criminal justice system and the mental health services here in the city. Take a listen to him talking about this.
Like, come on, news. Do we really need to show that?
It's preliminary now, but he was sentenced
everybody.
A few months ago. And there's some real questions that we need to look at on why he was on the street. And he has some severe mental health issues.
And our team spent time here in New York talking to New Yorkers about their reaction, what they witnessed and experienced. And I mean, as you can see behind me there, this is a residential block. As we've been here talking to you, Hallie, families trying to get by past the crime scenes with their babies in strollers. People are incredibly shaken by this, although very grateful that the suspect is now behind bars, Hallie.
Antonia Hilton, thank you very much for that. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
And I think, too, the fact that he was seen on camera, I mean, it is hard to tell, you know, what he looks like. But then when they showed him walking later, you could see him pretty well. Just wild to me. And I did find his case from where he was supposed to be going back to court on December 4th. His charges for that were petty larceny and criminal possession of stolen property. So, clearly they're, you know, serious crimes, but nothing like what he did today. Nothing like what he did today. All right, so we are going to watch the NYPD presser. It's about 12 minutes just to see what else they say. Oh, perfect. Okay. Let's see. Do we have? I don't think this has captions.
I intentionally asked Officer Garvey to stand with us today. 19 years in the department and has not lost his desire to protect the public. And today we have 3 innocent New Yorkers who's going about their lives were the victim of a terrible, terrible assault. 2 lost their lives. 1 is fighting for her life. It is a clear example of the criminal justice system, mental health system that continues to fail New Yorkers. And it is troubling that we're standing here today in a day that brings a great level of difficulty and pain to the city. 3 New Yorkers, unprovoked attacks that left us searching for answers on how something like this could happen. But I want to thank the everyday New Yorker who notified Officer Garvey and told him what he observed. When he saw the assault, he followed the individual involved and gave the information to Officer Garvey, who took quick action and was able to apprehend the person who we believe is a suspect. This investigation is going to continue to unfold, and we want New Yorkers to know that we are not looking for any additional suspects at this time. We believe we have someone in custody, and we are not looking for any additional suspects. Our hearts goes out to the families, goes out to other New Yorkers who observed such a terrible action. We will keep them in our prayer. But again, I want to thank that New Yorker who saw something, who did something. And because of that, I believe because of the quick actions of Officer Garvey, we have saved the lives of other New Yorkers who could have been the victim of this assault. We'll now turn it over to Interim Police Commissioner Tom Dolan, and then our Chief of Detectives will give you a preliminary and up-to-date on the investigation, what we have thus far.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the NYPD, I wanted to express our deepest sympathy to the 3 people attacked this morning. The senseless violence should never happen, but I want to thank Officer Garvey for his proactive approach to policing, and that is what we stress. We have reactive, but also proactive, and Officer Garvey represents what we've been telling the officers for many, many, many years. But through the swift work of the NYPD officers, this attacker is in custody right now. At this time, there are no other outstanding suspects. I want to thank our 17th and 10th Precinct Patrol officers for their quick and effective response to these incidents. And the detective squads of both commands for what will become a complete and thorough investigation. I also want to thank the members of the public who called 911 and who jumped into action to help their fellow New Yorkers. And finally, thank you to Mayor Adams for his ongoing public support. The mayor is here with us today because he truly cares about the people in New York City, and he understands that public safety is the foundation of everything we do here. Now, we are just beginning to sort through the violence this morning, but New Yorkers should know the NYPD will always be there with our city, and we will continue to fight for safety and security of every New Yorker. For some additional details on these incidents, I'll turn it over to Chief of Detectives, Joe Kenny. Thank you.
Good afternoon. The information I'm about to give to you is preliminary, as our investigation is still ongoing. I'm going to discuss the 3 stabbing incidents that occurred this morning in the 10th, 13th, 17th precincts here in Manhattan. These random attacks left 2 innocent victims dead and another one fighting for her life. I will not be releasing the victims' names at this time. We're still waiting to notify their families. We do have a suspect in custody, and we are not looking for any other perpetrators at this time. Incident number 1 occurs in the confines of the 10th precinct today at 8:22 a.m. in front of 444 West 19th Street. Our victim is a male Hispanic, 36 years old. He's standing in front of a construction site where he is employed, when without warning, he is stabbed in the abdomen. The assault appears to be unprovoked at this time. The perpetrator fled southbound on 9th Avenue. Our victim was removed to Bellevue Hospital, where he was pronounced dead at 8:50 in the morning. Witnesses stated that the perpetrator was a male, light-skinned, in his 60s with a beard. He was wearing a gray shirt and a dark-colored ski hat. Witnesses described the knife as a kitchen knife. Approximately 2 hours later, incident number 2 occurs at 10:27 a.m. at 500 East 30th Street and the East River by the Old Water Club. A male, Asian, 68 years old, who was fishing at the time of the attack, was stabbed multiple times throughout the body. A 911 caller rings the bell and police respond to the location. Unfortunately, our victim is removed to Bellevue Hospital, where he's pronounced dead. 30 minutes later, after this incident, our third and final attack occurs at 10:55 a.m. at 42nd Street and 1st Avenue, right by the UN. Our third victim is described as a female black, 36 years old. She is stabbed multiple times throughout her body. She is brought to Cornell Medical Center, where she is currently in critical condition. A short time later, at 46th Street and 1st Avenue, near the Turkish mission to the UN, police at the scene are alerted by a witness that a possible perpetrator who had just committed a robbery was walking in the area. This male was taken into custody by 17 Precinct Patrol. They recovered 2 large kitchen knives that are covered in blood. His clothing is also covered in blood. This person of interest was brought back to the 10th Precinct Station House for processing. He is a male Hispanic, 51 years old. He appears to be undomiciled. He has 8 prior arrests, last being for a grand larceny, October of this year. Thank you.
All right. Obviously, we still got a lot of work to do with this, but we'll take just a couple of questions. I'll start here on the left. Joe.
Chief, do we have any information as to were words exchanged prior to these interactions with these 3 individuals?
As of right now, these attacks seem to be unprovoked, that he just walked up to them and began to attack them with the knives.
Chief, is it clear, maybe speaking yourself for the day, can you elaborate on the failed system movement wrong? Is he out on bail, on a bail eligible case or not bail eligible case?
First, I want to acknowledge the presence of Councilman Powers and Councilman Boucher. These both impact their areas. We are still looking over his record, but there's a real question on why he was on the street. It's preliminary now, but he was sentenced a few months ago. And there's some real questions that we need to look at on why he was on the street. And he has some severe mental health issues that should have been examined. And that's what we're looking at as part of the investigation.
ABC?
Can you go into the witness you mentioned that saw something and what he told Officer Barney? Is it Barney?
Yeah, so the witness is a cab driver. He witnesses the third attack of the female. He believed it to be a robbery. He didn't know that she was stabbed. So he began to follow her, thinking that he was a robbery suspect.
The cab driver?
The cab driver, yes.
And the purple backpack that said 46th and 1st, is that the victim's backpack? Is that why?
That's part of our investigation.
Can you talk about when Officer Barney stepped in?
What was the question again?
Just when you started noticing something unusual and stepped in.
I just heard a commotion from where I was, stepped outside, heard what people were saying, and reacted.
What were people saying?
No comment on that.
Chief, were there any robbery attempts on any of the victims involved?
No, like I said, we're sorting through additional witness statements and video, but at this time, no words exchanged, no property taken, just attacked and stabbed viciously.
No, let the chief walk you through.
Once he was alerted that this perpetrator was possibly involved in a crime, thinking that maybe it was a robbery, he detained him. And obviously, at this point, information's coming over the radio. The detective squad gets involved. We start putting the pieces together to realize it's part of the three attacks that have taken place that morning.
Yeah, oh my God. And I think that we cannot overemphasize. Here, this officer made an apprehension of a person that took the life of two individuals, and he didn't know what he had. He responded, and we cannot overemphasize how much when these officers come to the scene of a crime or someone tells them that someone carried out a violent act, these officers respond to that act. And it just goes to show you after 19 years of service, there's still a commitment to ensure that the people of this city are safe. And when you don't know what you are responding to, you have an individual who had those weapons, and this officer put himself in harm's way to make sure he could stop others from being harmed. If Officer Garvey was not there, these random acts of violence, this person conceivably would have continued those random acts of violence. So he saved the lives of fellow New Yorkers.
Two more. Dean?
Did the suspect say anything in regards to any statements when he was arrested? Do you have any idea what his motivations might have been?
Not at this time.
James?
Thank you. The last stabbing was by the UN. There was a line of diplomatic vehicles, maybe a motorcade. Can you talk any more about the Secret Service's involvement in this situation?
I can't speak for another agency. I can just speak to what the NYPD did in this case. I know there were other people out on the scene that assisted, but at this time I can't speak to what the Secret Service may have done.
Are any of the victims dignitaries at this time? Do we know that?
They are not.
All right, last question.
The last two places where the attacks happened are pretty close, and you have evidence that he walked. Do we know how he got from 19th Street over? And also, was he just walking the knives out, or did he conceal them and pull them out?
From the video that we see as of right now, we have video of him with the knives out. But as at this point, our investigation is preliminary. It appears that he was traveling by foot.
All right, thank you, everybody.
All right. So as they were talking, I don't remember. I think it was the lead detective, or maybe it was the mayor who had said that Ramon should not have been out of prison. So I did find an article from Pix 11 that says suspect connected to stabbing spree was recently released from Rikers. Sources. So it says new information about the suspect arrested in connection to the stabbing spree in Manhattan has come to light. Ramon Rivera arrived in New York City about a decade ago and had several prior arrests in other states. Upon arrival in New York City, Rivera was a homeless recidivist commercial burglar, according to law enforcement sources. He was at Rikers from February 19th to October 17th, 2024. Exactly a month. Exactly a month from when he was released. On charges of burglary in the third degree and assault in the third degree. Rivera pled guilty to the charges in August 2024 and was sentenced to 364 days, but was released after 8 months of time served. He has an active case for burglary from December 2023 and was arraigned after being released from Rikers. This charge is a misdemeanor and is not bail eligible. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office requested his release under supervision. On November 18th, he allegedly stabbed 3 people and is back in custody. Right, Remy? That I don't know. Yeah. So, and why not why 364 days? Why not just a year? And I mean, to plead guilty on burglary in the third degree and assault in the third degree, I guess, I mean, but yeah, he would have still been, these three people would have not been attacked if he had remained in prison. So that'll be interesting to find out. I'm sure the media will do their due diligence and we'll find out why he was released early. Craziness. Absolute craziness. All right. So we are going to change gears from, the New York story. And I was seeing your comments about insurance. Interestingly enough, Remy, we were just talking about veneers at work. And, I mean, they can go for upwards of $15,000 for one implant. And yeah, who can afford it? Not, not the middle class or, those who don't have insurance. Even I had to get a new night guard. Insurance didn't cover it, but I needed it. So I just sucked it up and used a credit card because that would save me thousands in dental work later on. But I couldn't really afford a new dental or a new night guard, but I needed it. So, there's a lot of things now that insurance won't cover because they consider it cosmetic. And it's like, come on now. Like, it's crazy. Hey, Callie Dime, how are you? Yep, I know, Grandma. It's money. About money. Overcrowded, understaffed, underpaid. And I'm curious. I mean, and so I'm curious too, if he was in state prison and I mean, maybe he was getting the help he needed. So he was stable, so to speak. But the fact that he, not even a month after being released, did this, like, now 2 people are dead and one is fighting for her life. It makes me so mad. So mad. Oh, SG, you used one. Football players use and molded to my teeth. Dentists don't tell people. I did actually try that, but it just wasn't, it didn't work well for me. So, I mean, the night guard I have now is probably close to 8 years old. So it's definitely time for a new one because I've grinded it down. I mean, there's not much left. So, and I've had a tooth pulled, so it just doesn't fit my mouth anymore. But hopefully it'll last. This one will last 8 years too. Yeah. So, for those of you just coming in, thanks for being here. I do appreciate it. We're talking about the mass stabbing that took place this morning here in New York State, specifically Manhattan, and 2 people lost their lives. A 36-year-old construction worker, a 68-year-old fisherman. Well, I say fisherman, but a man who was fishing. And then a woman standing outside the Turkish consulate was also stabbed, and she is fighting for her life in the hospital. I believe they said Bellevue. And the suspect, 51-year-old Ramon Rivera, is now being held until he can be seen by a judge. And hopefully he never gets out, because that just makes me so angry that he was released yeah, 4 months, a day less than 4 months early. Oh, it's okay, SG. Don't be sorry. It just, I'm glad it worked for you because that's, it definitely saves a lot of money for sure. Oh, you did the same thing, Grandma Sherry? You did the athletic mouth guard? Interesting. When I had mine done, it was just a few weeks ago. They have my old dentist, it was terrible when they took the mold for my night guard. I think they used too much of the putty. Anyways, my dentist now, it was so much better. So much better. And thankfully it only takes 10 minutes. So you're in and out. Yeah. All right. So with that, also yesterday, there was a mass shooting, actually 2 shootings in New Orleans during I don't remember the name of the parade, but it's a yearly parade. 1 second. I'm going to just look it up. I can't believe I don't remember. It starts with an R. All right, we'll just listen to the Second Line Parade. I know it was that, but I don't remember the exact name. Oh, it's just the Second Line Parade? I thought it started with an R. Maybe that was where it was located. The city started with an R.
We're turning now to our top story of 2 shootings at Sunday's 9-time Second Line.
Yeah, police say they're unsure if the 2 incidents are related, but as Alyssa Curtis reports, they do know they want to bring the people responsible to justice.
In the sunshine of Monday morning lie reminders of the tragedy that happened.
This media can... The last clip we saw from one of the news stations in New York did the same thing. Can we have some respect for the people who lost their lives? Why do we have to show the violent after effects? The sunglasses, I mean, it's not terrible, but to show where people died, come on, news people. It just makes me so aggravated.
Barely 24 hours before.
We do have leads.
Again. What the heck?
And we will find the perpetrators.
A joyous display of New Orleans culture at the 9-time Second Line turned deadly.
We had 2 different incidents.
It was here near City Trends where the first set of shots were fired at around 3:30 Sunday afternoon. And today there's still evidence.
And so this was during the day. And that's the other thing, is these things are starting to happen in broad daylight, which I understand because more people are, out, but people are just out having a good time, and people have to just, use weapons for whatever reason.
Of some of those injuries sustained with blood splattered across this parking lot.
Okay, lady,
we know there were 2 ballistics, 2 different weapons.
During the first incident, 10 people were injured and there were no deaths. Then about 45 minutes later and about a mile up the road, a second set of shots went off here on the Almanaster Avenue Bridge. And again, you can still see the crime scene tape.
We do not know that they are related.
At the second location, 1 person was injured, 2 others were killed. NYPD says the Second Line was well patrolled with about 100 officers, but still.
They were working this particular second line, and yet the tragedy still occurred.
Leaders say part of the issue possibly.
There were a lot of people out there with guns.
But with new gun laws across the state, NYPD Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick says it becomes harder to prevent deadly crime in a large crowd.
New Orleans is unique, and we have no business with guns at a parade or in our entertainment areas at all. The risks are too high.
Monday afternoon, Attorney General Liz Murrow pushed back on that sentiment, saying in part, quote, "Since when do violent criminals who shoot multiple people follow our laws? I wouldn't classify them as responsible gun owners."
I agree with that as well. Because regardless of, in my opinion, regardless of the laws you have, regardless of how strict they are, the people who want to get weapons will get weapons. The people who want to hurt other people will hurt other people.
While NOPD searches for the people responsible, they want to make sure the tragedy doesn't take away from the beauty of our culture.
Second lines are a wonderful culture of this city and will continue to be so. But we have got to work together with the community to prevent any potential for violence.
Alyssa Curtis, WWL, Louisiana.
Officials say they're frustrated with the lack of tips in the two cases. And if you have videos of either of those shootings, they would like to see them. You can send them to them by calling Crime Stoppers or by visiting Crime Stoppers online at crimestoppersgno.org. There's a form on the website right there where you can send anonymous tips and you could claim a cash reward.
And members of 9 Times are heartbroken over the sad turn of events. They said this is the first time in their 26-year history a shooting occurred while they were still parading down the street. The so-called Ninth Ward Holiday Second Line is meant to bring New Orleanians past and present together. They want to reconnect and have a good time. Joe Plattenberg is one of the original members of the organization.
Oh my gosh, how cool is that?
Unfortunate thing that took place. I mean, we've been doing this for 26 plus years, and it's just a shame. We had a lot of people come in, a lot of family. We do it for the neighborhood, and it's just a shame that people would take what you try to do for good and make it something bad, and it was heartbreaking, you know.
Well, Plattenberg told us on behalf of the 9 Times organization, condolences go out to the families of the shooting victims. He hopes police catch those responsible for the violence. Investigators have mentioned a vehicle that might be connected to one of the shootings, but they have not provided any other details on that just yet, saying the investigation is ongoing. You can find all the latest updates on our website, our free smartphone app, as well as our social media pages.
All right. And I do have an article that was updated just a few hours ago. Grandma Sherry, I believe it was near the same parade, yes. Oh, and that headline actually says that. I agree, Kelly. Dime makes me nervous to go to any type of busy public event. And it could be, I mean, it's possible that the shootings aren't related, but the fact that they both occurred near the parade, I mean, to me, and this is, of course, just my opinion, to me, I feel like it was probably two groups that were having a disagreement. And people ended up getting hurt in the crossfire. That's what I think. So 2 killed, 11 hurt in 2 shootings near second line parades in New Orleans. No arrests have been made. 2 people were killed and 11 others were hurt in 2 shootings that erupted 45 minutes apart near a second line parade in New Orleans on Sunday afternoon. 10 were shot in the first incident and 3 were shot in the second. All of the injured victims are in stable condition. Thank goodness. Sadly, 2 others did not make it. No arrests have been made. Authorities are investigating whether the shootings were related, noting that at least 2 guns were used. The police department said it immediately shut down the second line, which is a type of parade with live brass band music. About 100 officers were on the scene of the second line, which drew thousands of spectators on Sunday, and yet the tragedy still occurred. New Orleans Councilman Eugene Green, who was at the second line, said the New Orleans Police Department was well represented before the second line, during and even following the second line and along the parade route. Second lines are a part of New Orleans culture and will continue to be so, but we have to work together with the community to prevent any potential for violence. Yeah, they are getting bolder, SG. I agree with that. Hey, Nicole B., how are you? I agree. So hopefully they are able to find those responsible and arrest them. Because, you know, 2 families have been destroyed and 11 others' families have been hurt and traumatized. Yeah. All right, so we do have, let's see, how many more stories do I have? I have 5 more stories we're going to look at. And if there's ones that we, you know, if we want to learn more about, I haven't watched all of the clips, but if there's any that we want to look more into, just let me know. So this next one is from Greenville County, and multiple bodies were found in a motel room after calls were made of people screaming for help. Hey, Karma, how are you? Thanks for being here.
Well, we are continuing to follow breaking news out of Greenville County. Deputies found multiple dead bodies inside of a motel room. Now, this happened at the Budget Inn on Bruce Road. We went ahead and mapped that out for you here. Officials say they got a 911 call regarding multiple people yelling for help just before 10 o'clock this morning. And Fox Carolina's Carrie Beal is live on the scene right now. She's joining us.
And that is like so scary. Like you hear several people yelling for help. And so you call 911 and then multiple people are found deceased.
Ask Carrie, what's the latest?
Yeah, we are on the back end of the Budget Inn, again, along Bruce Road. And right behind me here, you can see the caution tape that police officers and deputies have set up. We believe the room is right there at the end on the first level of this Budget Inn. And the Greenville County Sheriff's Office reports that they are investigating after 2 bodies were found in a motel room at this Budget Inn. According to investigators, they received a call around 9:45 this morning regarding people yelling for help. Deputies arrived at the Budget Inn on Bruce Road and discovered 2 dead people and 1 man with minor injuries. The deputies report the injured man was transported to the hospital, but the cause of death of these 2 other people is still under investigation. I got the chance to talk to a woman who works here at the Budget Inn. This is what she had to say. Tell me, what did you hear?
The only thing we heard was somebody yelling for help. We seen the window broke and everything, and that's when our manager called the police, and that's when we discovered everything that's taking place right now.
Did you see anything inside the room?
Only thing, I didn't see anything in the room. Only thing I seen was that the guy's arm hanging out the window and he was yelling for help.
What's going through your mind right now?
I'm just shocked. It's really surprising to happen here because, I mean, he takes care of the motel. There's cameras up everywhere. So right now I'm just nerved up and unbelievable events take place.
And so one guy was calling for help. He was injured,
Yeah.
but we don't know anything more about the 2 others.
No more about the other 2 others.
Did you hear an altercation or anything like that?
Nope. Didn't hear no altercation, no nothing.
Scary. Can you just tell me your name?
My name is Angela Wright.
Angela? Can you spell that for me?
ANGELA WRIGH.
Right there. And we do know this is being investigated as a suspicious death. They haven't deemed it a homicide at this point, but we are about to talk to someone from the sheriff's office. They tell us in the next 15 minutes. And I can tell you one other thing about this scene. You can't see it from this angle, but there is some broken glass in that room where we believe this happened. So again,
And so it's interesting that they're just calling it a suspicious death and not a homicide, which tells me, I mean, there's probably no evidence that it was a homicide, but if you have people yelling for help and 2 of them end up dead and 1 injured, I find it ironic that there's 2 suspicious deaths and 1 person injured. Maybe if it was one, but, you know, just hearing that they were calling for help and then, you know, 2 of them ended up losing their lives. I think that's, I guess it is very suspicious, but I think there's definitely more to it.
Trying to get some answers about exactly what led up to this incident, and we'll keep you updated once we do. Reporting live in Greenville, Carrie Beal, Fox Carolina News.
And now.
Okay. And I just wanted to see. Okay, so this is updated. This is an updated article. This is from The State. Yelling leads deputies to 2 bodies in South Carolina motel room. And this was updated November 15th, which was Friday. So the update is, on November 14th, the men found dead in a South Carolina motel room were identified as Texas residents Jose Gomez, 43, and Alvaro Hinojosa, 33. No, quote, significant trauma was found on their bodies, and an investigation into their deaths is ongoing. The Greenville County Coroner's Office wrote in a news release. So it says, cries for help led deputies to discover 2 bodies in a motel room. A 3rd man found in the room was taken to a hospital with minor injuries Wednesday, November 13th. I'm hoping that the person who was injured may have seen something. Mystery lingers in the men's death, which are being considered suspicious. The investigation is still in its early stages, the sheriff's office wrote. Further information will be released once we learn more information, including the manner and cause of death. Okay, so they're going to have autopsies, clearly. First responders were called at about 9:45 a.m. to a Budget Inn motel in Greenville. After people were heard yelling for help, deputies at the scene reported finding the 2 men dead and a 3rd man injured. McClatchy News reached out to the hotel, but the person who answered the phone declined to comment. Video from the scene shows the glass window to the room was broken, and investigators say it appears the glass was broken from the inside. In an email, Sheriff's Office spokesperson told McClatchy News the department won't release additional details pending an autopsy. McClatchy News is awaiting further information from the coroner's office. So clearly, if the glass was broken and it appeared that the glass went out, it was broken from the inside. Possibly there was some type of struggle, clearly, or just very bizarre. Yeah, it's not normal, Sunday. I agree with that. Not normal. And they were from Texas, which I'm curious. I don't know. Just very, very interesting. All right, so the next story, this is a case, Blaise Bernstein. Oh, no, oops, I went too far. Blaise Bernstein was killed. The accused was charged with a hate crime. He was found guilty. He was sentenced to life in prison. So we're going to just take a look at this. SG, that's a good question. I had actually wondered that, because if he was only injured, possibly. But yeah, they said there was no, what was the words they used? No visible trauma. Hold on, I gotta get to the right article. Where is it? No quote, significant trauma. So possibly there was some signs of trauma, but I would assume that means like not, a gunshot wound or a knife wound, something severe. All right. And actually, before we get to that news clip, I do have so Blaise Bernstein, I'm going to share this in chat as well. There is a website dedicated to his memory, blaisebernstein.org. And just a little bit about Blaise, for those of you who may not know who he is. Blaise was a capable, compassionate, just, and loving. His prolific writings depicts his curious and benevolent spirit, his desire for unity and justice, and his respect for mankind. Blaise was full of light with a smile that was comforting and contagious. He loved to spend time with his brother and his sister. He eagerly prepared feasts, taking his family and friends on ethereal culinary adventures. He brought a little more laughter, a little more music, and much love into his home, into the lives of those around him. Through his various talents, Blaise was of service to others. He wrote and conducted a symphony of kindness and compassion in souls. Blaise left the world a better place because he has lived. That is so powerful. So definitely check out his site. All right, so we're going to go back here.
The man responsible for the brutal death of Orange County teen Blaise Bernstein will spend the rest of his life behind bars. It was an emotional day in court and a tearful end to a heartbreaking case that gripped Southern California. KTLA's Sandra Mitchell was in court for the sentencing of Sam Woodward.
Stabbed in the face, stabbed in his kind blue eyes that could see things most can't see, stabbed in his warm hands that penned beautiful poems and stories, held my hand as a boy, and created so many wonderful things.
Sobbing in a Santa Ana courtroom as the mother of murder victim Blaise Bernstein urged the judge to sentence her son's killer to life without the possibility of parole.
Let's be clear, this was a hate crime.
A chaotic day as convicted killer 27-year-old Samuel Woodward refused to leave his jail cell for sentencing. After hours of After hours of delay, the judge ordered the proceedings to go on without the defendant, saying the Bernstein family had suffered long enough. Woodward was convicted of stabbing Bernstein 28 times, leaving his body in a Lake Forest park. Bernstein, an Ivy League student, was briefly back in Southern California visiting his family on winter break when he was killed. Prosecutors argued Woodward searched a dating app to find someone who was Jewish and gay to kill. The jury determined it.
Right. And I agree that is a hate crime. And it's been 6 years. 6 years that this family has gone without justice for their son. And it's been a long time coming.
Was a hate crime, and today the judge agreed, sentencing Woodward to life without the possibility of parole.
There is no place for hate in this world. And if you're someone out there that is resentful of another race or sexual preference, there's got to be another way for you to be able to find some love or some way to embrace people who are different than you.
Sandra Mitchell,
Well said.
KTLA 5 News.
Well said, sir. So just to further, I did find an article from KTLA that details a little bit more about what happened. And this was updated the 15th, which again was Friday. Former classmate sentenced to life for hate crime killing of Blaise Bernstein. A Newport Beach man has been sentenced to life in prison out the possibility of parole for the anti-LGBTQ and anti-Semitic hate crime killing of his former classmate, Blaise Bernstein. It's almost 7 years that we've waited for this day for justice, said Bernstein's mother, Jean Pepper. We have a victory for humanity today, an absolute victory. Samuel Woodward, 27, was found guilty in July of first-degree murder with special allegations that the killing was motivated by hate and that it was committed using a weapon. On Friday, Woodward refused to come out of his jail cell for a courtroom appearance during his sentencing in Orange County. The trial, which began in April, came 6 years after Bernstein's body was found in Lake Forest. The 19-year-old had been stabbed 28 times. I never thought I would smile again or be happy again, Pepper said, but I stand here today relieved and happy that the sociopath will never live in Orange County again or murder anyone else's children. And this was, so it says, Blaise is seen in an image provided during a news conference on January 10th, 2018. In the courtroom, Pepper said her son was killed, quote, because he was Jewish and gay. She also called Woodward a coward for refusing to come out of his cell to face his sentencing. I would agree with her. He's a coward. Bernstein was killed in 2018 when he came home from the University of Pennsylvania for the holidays. Woodward had apparently used the dating apps to search for someone who was Jewish and gay. Sick. What is sick person? Investigators also found a trove of images and journal entries described as, quote, graphic and chilling on his personal devices and social media, including images that were racist, homophobic, anti-Semitic, and anti-government. Oh, man, he looked rough with long hair. And I hate to judge, but I'm going to judge him because he was found guilty. He looks like a madman, like just defiant, arrogant. What a jerk. He also wrote about posing as a gay man to, quote, troll men. Like our district attorney, Todd Spitzer, said, there is no place for hate in this world. And if you're someone out there that is resentful of another race or sexual preference, there's got to be another way for you to be able to find some love or some way to embrace people who are different than you. And that said Gideon Bernstein, Blaise's father. Let this tragedy that we have lived through be a lesson that hate is not the answer. Love is the answer, Pepper added onto her husband's message. Love your humanity, love other people, do your best to be a person that you are proud of and care about people. Because when this breaks down, when we stop caring about each other, that's when we see things like this happen. And it's really inexcusable that someone with so much promise should have his life taken from him right on the verge of greatness. Sinner, you're able to chat again. Nice, but there's no message. I see you, Sinner, but I don't see any words. Did you put a period, or is my phone dirty? Oops. Oh, now I see the candle. Okay. I agree. Ignorance is taught. Absolutely. All right. So, how are we on time? Okay. So we're going to do 2 more stories. I had an additional one. We'll save that for another time, possibly. But I wanted to be sure to get to these last 2 stories. This first story, well, not first, but our penultimate, there's a word I haven't been able to use in a while. Our penultimate story is about a missing pregnant woman. She's been missing for some time. Her name is Emma Baum. Oh, excuse me. And she has not been located. Her family believes that her boyfriend has something to do with her disappearance. However, they are still looking for her. And so I thought this would be, just for some advocation of Emma, who is beautiful. I agree, SG. If you don't like certain people and you can't accept them, stay away. Exactly. And, for someone to viciously and maliciously seek out someone to hurt, like, that's just, that's pure evil. Pure evil. Because there are so many other things that you could do with your life. Like you said, just stay away. But to deliberately, Jeffrey Dahmer was the same way. Jeffrey Dahmer sought out a certain type of man so that he could get them to come back to his apartment. And then, we all know what he did. It's just I don't even know the word. It's evil. Pure evil.
Well, friends and family of a missing pregnant mother from Indiana are asking the public for help in finding her.
The mother of the missing woman believes her daughter's boyfriend had something to do with her disappearance.
I would like my daughter home. We miss her. Her babies need her. Her family needs her.
Holding posters with her pictures. More than anything right now, the family of 25-year-old Emma Baum wants to embrace Emma and the baby she was expecting.
She was 1 centimeter dilated on October 4th. She has been missing since October 10th. At this point, we have done everything we can, and now we ask the public to please help us.
Emma is 5 feet 3 inches tall and about 136 pounds. She's known to wear different hair pieces and wigs. This picture of her as a brunette is how she looks naturally.
Oh, wow. So she does look much different as a brunette, I've got to say. So there's just another photo of her with dark hair.
Is how she looks naturally. Emma is a mom of 4 young children, which includes the baby she likely would have delivered by now. She was 9 months pregnant when she disappeared.
Ugh. If you do see a missing Emma, she may be with her newborn baby. This case is very critical because we don't know if that baby has gotten the care that it needs.
Emma's loved ones say she was last seen at her boyfriend's house October 10th in the 2500 block of Connecticut Street in Gary. Gary investigators say they didn't receive a missing persons report until October 28th. According to investigators, Emma's boy.
Oh my gosh. What? So she was last seen October 10th, but a missing persons report wasn't filed until the 28th? That's nearly 3 weeks later. Hey, Twist, how are you? Oh, no, Sunday. There's a 13-year-old in that area missing and thought to be pregnant. So in the same area? You know what? Give me 1 second. Let me look up Emma Baum missing. All right, because I'm going to look for an article, like the oldest article I can find. And apparently there was, I should say, another woman named Emma Baum who was killed by her boyfriend back in 2016. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So pregnant Gary woman disappeared. So This was 4 days ago, so I'm not finding any news articles about Emma Baum missing until the earliest one that I'm finding is November 14th. Oh, here we go. Here's the teenage girl. So it says, pregnant Gary woman disappears near location of teen's earlier missing case. Police. Janiyah McMichael is on the right. She is also missing. So it says, police are searching for a teenage girl and a 25-year-old pregnant woman who both disappeared from Gary, Indiana in recent months. Emma Baum, 25, was 9 months pregnant when she was last seen on October 10th in the 2500 block of Connecticut Street, according to Gary police. Since her disappearance, authorities say Baum may have given birth. I would assume she did give birth if she was a centimeter dilated. On the 5th. Baum is described as 5'3", weighing approximately 136 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. She has several scars on her arms and multiple tattoos, and is known to wear wigs and hair pieces in various styles and colors. Her disappearance follows that of 13-year-old Janiyah McMichael, who went missing on August 11th within blocks of Baum's last known location. Police say McMichael may have also been pregnant. She is described as 5'2", weighing about 110 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. Gary police are urging anyone with information on Baum or McMichael's whereabouts to contact authorities. Police have not indicated whether the two cases are connected. Oh, and that was it. So thank you. Who was it that told me about that? Sunday. Thank you for letting me know that. Hey, Keto Kim. How are you? Hey, teenies. Also missing from Gary, Indiana is Diamond and King Venom. All right, let me look them up. Diamond. Oops. Bynum. Here it is. Is it B-Y-N-U-M? Oh, I think I remember this. Let me see if they have a picture. Oh my gosh, all these ads. Okay, ESPN, I don't care about this race. All right, let's take a look at this. I feel like I remember this case. Okay, so it says new age progression photo released 7 years after Diamond Bynum King Walker disappeared from Gary. Law enforcement have released a new age progressed photo of King Walker 7 years after he and his aunt, Diamond Bynum, disappeared while visiting a relative's home in Gary, Indiana. It's heartbreaking to see there have been so many birthdays, so many years, said LaShann Walker, the child's grandmother. The Center for Missing and Exploited Children produced the age-enhanced photo of Walker. He would be 9 years old now. If somebody sees that person around somewhere, they could still be able to tell them, well, scratch that. If somebody sees that person around somewhere, they could still be able to tell that that's him or not. That's a very weird sentence to me. The two went missing on July 25th, 2015. Bynum, who has special needs that diminished her mental capacity, was 21 at the time. Her nephew was just 2 years old. Bynum's family describes her as childlike. The family prayed in front of the Gary Police Department Monday for a safe return. And this was dated July 25th, 2022. If we can get a good lead towards an avenue, it could be anywhere in the country. We welcome any of those leads. Walker met with police Monday, who shared recent leads took them to the East Coast and Florida, and now they await more information. Unfortunately, 7 years have gone by. That's a long time. I just want to bring closure for them if we can find them. The family and Gary police urge everyone to look at the new photo of King Walker in hopes of getting any new information to bring the two home. And of course, this news article did not share the information. So let's go to and oh, oh, there he is, little guy. So missing since July 25th, 2015, Gary, Indiana. Now 11. Okay, so here's the age. Oh, I was trying to make this one bigger, but clearly it didn't. So it's shown age progressed to 10 years. He was last seen on July 25th, 2015. He may be in the company of Diamond Bynum. When King was last seen, his hair was in dreadlocks. And here is Diamond. Oops. She is now 30 years old. What a peculiar case. Oh, shoot. I was sharing it. Why is this? Oh, I was sharing him. So this is Diamond. I didn't realize. Sorry about that. I didn't realize it opened a whole new window for Diamond. So age now 30 years old. All right. They were home with the stepmom and step-grandma to King. I'm going to actually write this down. I don't want to get into a rabbit hole right now, but this is very interesting. And King Walker. Yep, missing in 2015. What's going on in that neighborhood? Yeah. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely look into this more, because now I'm intrigued, and I don't know if that's the right word, but it's the best word I have at the moment. All right, so and we have to actually finish. I didn't realize we didn't finish the video, so I'm gonna actually just rewind it a little bit. And again, this is Emma Baum missing from Gary, Indiana.
When she disappeared.
If you do see a missing Emma, she may be with her newborn baby. This case is very critical because we don't know if that baby has gotten the care that it needs.
Emma's loved ones say she was last seen at her boyfriend's house October 10th in the 2500 block of Connecticut Street in Gary. Gary investigators say they didn't receive a missing persons report until October 28th. According to investigators, Emma's boyfriend was arrested on October 29th on an unrelated warrant and is currently being held in the Lake County Jail in Indiana.
One individual.
So boyfriend was arrested on a separate warrant on the 29th. She was last seen the 10th, reported missing the 28th. And Why so long? And he was arrested on the 29th on unrelated charges.
Individual was picked up on a warrant. I know that's the question out there. Was he charged? He has not been charged. No one in this case has been charged. And that individual was just on a separate FTA warrant.
Investigators say since Emma was reported missing, they have helped in her search.
There's been 3 different locations that have come up in the investigation. So that we've exhausted those means and looked into video that was possibly in those areas that she was last seen as well.
Loved ones describe Emma as having a heart of gold, someone who would do anything for anyone. And now they're pleading with anyone who knows something to help them reunite with Emma and her baby.
We love you, Emma. And if you can hear us, there's nothing that you have done to make any of us stop loving you. We trust that somebody knows something.
And we want her
home.
Well, anyone who does know anything about where Emma Baum is located should contact Gary Police.
So sad. I'm going to see. I just want to see if there's any other articles about Emma. All right, what's going... Oh, here we go. I don't know why this isn't working. I mean, it's interesting how... I mean, I just saw the news story yesterday. In all of the articles, like I said, there's nothing... Because I just put an Emma Baum missing. And the first article was the one I just read. And then the others are about... this other girl named Emma Baum who was killed by her boyfriend in 2016. It's just so weird. There's not even local news stories about her. Let me just try a different search. Emma Baum, Gary, Indiana. Let me just put that in and see. Yeah, the first article, even with Emma Baum, Gary, Indiana, was 4 days ago. Which is the 14th. So like 2 weeks after she was reported missing. I just feel like so much could have happened in those 18 days. And it's, it's curious because looking at Emma, I think of Layla Santinello. She just reminds me of Layla. Maybe it's the blonde hair. But with Layla, they had initially thought that maybe she just, she had in the past, she had taken off for a few days and then come back. So, I mean, is it possible that Emma did the same where, she would leave, but she had 3 babies at home? Like, I don't know. It's bothering me that she wasn't reported missing for so long. Oh, Sunday says, not sure I'd contact those police. What, Pookie? Your law enforcement refused to help find your daughter? I was going to say the same thing Sunday said. Did they say, quote, runaway? I mean, I feel like that's a cop-out. Like, oh, they're just a runaway. But what if they're not? Like, yeah, maybe they've run away before. Maybe they haven't. But why say that? Always, I would think you would always take it as it's not just a runaway. Oh, legally she was too young to be considered a runaway. Considered a runaway? Or did I miss something? Oh, the National Center wanted you to sue them. She was 11? Right, so she was too young to be considered a runaway, but they still wouldn't help you. That's just... Thank goodness you found her, Pookie. All right. So the last story I have for us is a heartwarming story. And of course, it has to do with animals because of all that heartache and tragedy. I saw this yesterday, or maybe it was this morning before work. I can't remember. But I saw this headline and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. So it says Chesapeake husband pays for 40 pet adoptions as wife's 40th birthday present. And we all know, for those of us who have adopted fur babies, adoptions are not overly expensive because they do cover the basics like spay or neuter, first shots, et cetera, but this was just so, like, I would have never thought of doing this, honestly. Even though I love animals, I wouldn't say, you know, if somebody says like, what do you want for your birthday? I'd be like, I want you to pay someone's pet adoption fee. I never would have thought of actually doing that. So just such a sweet story. Wow, Pookie. Hold on. And I know we're talking about this, but it took a month to get the proof for the FBI to get involved. They had her back in 24 hours using the info you'd gotten. So what did you need to do to get the FBI involved? I'm just curious. Like, what did you need for them? I mean, thank goodness they did. But I'm just curious as to what they needed. Oh, okay. You had to get proof that your mom had taken her across state lines. That makes sense. And you think of, you know, how many other missing children, missing adults, you know, who have had issues in the past, and law enforcement is like, oh, they're a runaway. Oh, you know, they'll be back. They do this all the time. But I feel like you should always take it seriously. Like, it always should be treated as the first time. That's good, Pookie, but I'm so glad you got her back. All right, so let me go over here. All right, so here we go.
Chesapeake husband has set the bar pretty high for birthday presents with a generous gift for not just his wife, but a local animal shelter. 10 on your side tonight. Madison Pierman has this heartwarming story.
Oh my gosh, he's like smiling. Hold on, I gotta go back to that dog. He was like smiling.
Madison Pierman has this.
Look at him, he's smiling. He's so sweet. Oh my gosh. And like, how can you say no to that? Look at him. He's so happy. Oh my gosh, I cannot. And I'm not a dog person, but I might have taken that dog home with me. I'm just saying. He is, or she. I don't know if it's a boy or girl. It looks like a he, but oh my gosh. How freaking cute.
This heartwarming story.
I would say it's very rewarding to give back to the community.
Jennifer and Andrew Dewey spend lots of time volunteering here at the Chesapeake Animal Services. The former military family has dogs of their own, but recently lost one of their own furry friends.
Well, we're still kind of in the coping phase of losing kind of unexpectedly a little bit one of our own dogs. So I've had a kind of a hard time dealing with that.
But time doesn't stop for even the most heartbreaking moments. Before she knew it, Jennifer's 40th birthday was on the calendar, and a gift-searching Andrew was at a loss until he had an idea.
I paid the adoption fees for all 40 animals. I had gotten with Miss Casey, the volunteer coordinator, and I initially asked how many kennels we had. And conveniently, there are actually 40 dog kennels. So I thought it was fitting that 40 kennels and 40th birthday that they went hand in hand.
Sponsoring the adoption fees of 40 animals could total more than $4,000. Jennifer says no other gift would be nearly as meaningful.
It is so nice to know that he just
babies.
understands my heart and knows what I value most, and is supportive enough to even do a gesture like that, which was very big. And it just really meant a lot.
The generous gift is one that'll keep on giving, with 10 adoptions already covered. And the Deweys ask just one thing of you.
I love all the animals here. I wish more people would come in. I just want them all to have homes.
And thanks to the Deweys, home could be with you at no cost. Madison Bierman, 10 on your side.
Okay, so I need to go. I think, was that the Chesapeake Humane Society? Now I don't remember. But I need to find out if it is. Like, who is this doggy? Oh no, that's... How do I see the dog? Oh, here, adoptable pets. I just want to see what... Oh my gosh, they have bunnies. Oh my gosh, and they have a guinea pig. Oh my gosh. And they have a guinea pig. His name is Jack-o'-lantern. That is so cute. All right, let's see. They have a mouse or a rat? Oh my gosh, there's lots of mice. Oh my gosh, this animal shelter is truly an animal shelter. All right. Oh my gosh, look at all these little guinea pigs. Oh, so this must not be the right one because there's only one dog. All right, I need to go back and... Give me one second. I just want to see... Oh, Chesapeake Animal Services. Okay, well, we got to look at those animals. Let's see. Oops. Animal Services. Oh, here we go. Chesapeake Services Unit. I didn't realize. Okay. Adopt a fetching friend. Oh my gosh, there's a little rat. I don't think I've ever seen at least around here, a shelter that had rats. Or guinea pigs for that matter. Ah, here they are. I think this is the one. Choji? Nope, that's not him. That one's cute though. Look at all these animals, these poor babies. Maybe... Nope. I don't think it's that one. She was like more white. Maybe she's already been adopted. That would be cool. Look at all these animals. This is why it's important to spay and neuter your dogs. Oh, it kind of looks like this one. This one's a girl. What's her name? Foxy. Foxy. So cute. All right. Anyways, I could sit here looking at these babies all day. I think we're almost to the bottom. Aww. Little bunny. Oh my gosh. Yep. I bet you that is her. All right. So I was wrong. It's a girl, not a boy. Well, I should say she's a girl, not a boy. Let me just... I want to just check her nose because... Yep, that's her because her nose matches that little white spot there. All right, let's see. 6 years old she is. 6 years old. She's been there for 2 months, exactly 2 months. She's so sweet. So sweet. So that is my service announcement. Adopt, don't shop. Make sure your animals are spayed and neutered, because there's so many babies on the street. Surprisingly, I haven't seen many of my strays outside, and I'm a little concerned because they're always around. I've seen the daddy cat. He's been around. And then the tortie that I was going to try to get over Veterans Day weekend, I didn't see her for a week, and she's back again. But now I'm nervous to trap her because it's possible she was pregnant and had babies, and that's why I haven't seen her for so long. So I don't want to trap her at this point because I don't know if she has babies or not. So, hey, VK, sir, how are you? I'd be horrified if my husband spent $4,000 on me. Yeah, but I mean, I feel like because it was for the animals, I think, and I mean, what a great idea. And what an incentive for people who may want to adopt, and don't have, all of the funds, because it's easier to get free animals, but then, the cost to get them spayed or neutered, their vet bills, etc., it can definitely add up. So I just thought, I think that's actually a really good gesture. And I'm gonna remember that in the future because, I don't need anything, My sister and her family went to France for 10 days. And so she kept asking me, what do you want me to bring you? I don't know what to get you. And I'm like, you don't have to get me anything. And then I was like, I remembered she brought me truffles the last time they went. And I was like, I'll take some chocolate truffles. So hopefully I will have some truffles very soon because they are on their way back from France. So, wow, it's been almost 2 hours. Holy moly. I thought I was only going to be live for at most an hour and a half, but here we are. So I will not be live tomorrow unless something breaking happens. I have been watching the Laken Riley trial, and I was telling Sinner earlier, I was like, man, I wish I had covered that trial because, I mean, it's very, very sad and heartbreaking. Yet this guy, I mean, hearing the details, she had the presence of mind to hit the emergency button on her phone. She called 911, and her last moments were caught on audio. And you can hear this guy. He said at the end, I think he said no tango, something like that. And I was like, why would he say that? I don't know, but it's just very, interesting to me. Yeah, Pookie, I'm still on the first day, but, I'm slowly getting through it. So I figure maybe, maybe we will. I have, we might be a little late, but I have several days off for Thanksgiving break. So we could even look at the trial then. I mean, a verdict may have already come out, but, just to kind of watch it together. But if you have any other trials that are coming up that you see or that you're interested in, let me know. It just takes us a little longer because, that work thing gets in the way. But, yeah, I actually, and it's more fun to watch it with someone else than just by yourself. I'd get old postcards from Paris. Bookstores along the Seine River have a tradition of selling them. Oh. Well, too late now, but I'll remember for the next time they go. They don't go as often as they want, but you know, they try to go every few years. All right, everyone. Well, thanks so much for being here. If you haven't hit that like button, please do so. And for those of you who are replaying, I should have said something sooner, but thank you so much for watching the replay. If you haven't subbed up, please do so. And if you haven't watched my short, G Nation Slays, please do so. I'm on my way to 100,000 views. And yes, I'm tooting my own horn, but I never thought I would have more than 1,000 views on anything, let alone, actually, you know what? Let me just check right quick. I'm going to check real quick to see where I'm at. It's just, it's wild to me. Let's see. I am at 80,244 views. Like, what? And I just did that short because I absolutely loved that audition. So that's why I did it. And yeah, there we go. I'm tooting my own horn because it probably won't ever happen again. So I'm hoping to be at 100,000 views by tomorrow. Yes, there we go, Sinner. There we go. Get that to 100,000. Take that, haters. Yes, Sunday Doodles. Actually, I was just looking at it. I can send you, I can put the link in chat. Copy. What the heck? Let's see. You on YouTube. Okay, share. What the heck? There we go. Yep, and it's only, I mean, it's less than a minute. And the second girl, I mean, they all have fantastic voices, but the second girl that sings, she, I don't know, she's from heaven. Like, her voice is otherworldly. Thanks, Troll. The shorts take so long because to splice, you know, different parts together, like I usually try to get 3 to 4 different clips, and then I take what I like from all of them, and then I have to find a way to make it flow. So they take a lot more time, but they're worth it because, you know, you get the story out and more people see them than my live streams. So that's always a bonus as well. But I appreciate that. All right, y'all. I'm really going now. Have a great night. If I don't see you on these YouTube streets, I will see you on the flip side.
Let it take me to that place now. I won't ever let my thoughts get away now. I got better things to do, picking fate now. I just want to be the best, call me great now. I don't know if I'm okay or insane now. I remember better days on the playground, hoping I can find my way. Even when I'm feeling down, I fight. Even when I don't know what is right, I'ma pick a side and I'ma take pride. I will decide my fate and I will never let them tell me who I am. If you try to shake me, I'll be damned. Planet on the ground is where I stand. Never give up, that was always the plan. It's so cold outside. I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside. I'm alone.